Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Let's talk about Mullen Automotive, and let's take a look at the charts and some of the catalysts that we're expecting to come up any day now and in the next couple of weeks. So, all eyes on another sizable rate hike. Let's take a look at the macroeconomic picture because we're going to have another expected sell off today with equities. The third straight 75 basis point rate hike is probably priced in. The Fed Reserve's 2-day meeting, September 20th to the 21st. You know what day it is. You know what week it is. You know Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when everybody's going to be tuned in to listen to that call. And we expect a market reaction, a pretty significant market reaction, especially after all of the sell-off leading up to this meeting. But this is something that we're starting to expect. Until the Fed starts to pull back on these rate hikes, we're continuing to see that volatility leading up to this meeting. So if the Fed decides to stay with the 75 basis point rate hike, then I think we're okay. We're okay for the short term. Obviously, we have a bigger macroeconomic picture that's very challenging for equities, and they're still trying to find their baseline. But for growth stocks like Mullen, this is highly dependent on the catalyst and for them to actually produce a vehicle. We have to start off with the vans. Let's take a look at that. The first thing that we have is this relationship with Bollinger Motors. So is this key strategic relationship helping with the collaboration of the vans, those Class 1, Class 2 vans? And we'll have to stay tuned. We're also looking for that announcement of this Fortune 500 company. And of course, there's some speculation as to who that company is going to be. But is this still in the works? Did they receive that vehicle back? Have they made the modifications? What is taking so long to finish one vehicle that one company is willing to sign down on and say, look, this meets all of the expectations that we need in a fully functional vehicle? The next one is Delpac. Delpac seems to be a little bit more solidified as far as the arrangement, the agreement. It looks like they pulled this down from their website, and maybe they've gotten this all worked out as far as this being something that isn't going to happen is going to happen now. So we need an update here. So in Delpac Logistics and the EV cargo vans, this is also a possibility of some news catalysts that could come out following the Fed meeting. So any positive news about the vans is going to be a positive catalyst, in my opinion. And just remember, this Texas-based company, Heights Dispensary, also entered into $60 million agreement to purchase 1,200 Mullen 1 electric vans. But the timing on this, we will not see that revenue until the third quarter of 2023. And as far as the timeline's going right now, if they were supposed to give us an update in August, and now we're looking at September, we could be about 2 or 3 months lagging to the right or pushed to the right. And we know the company's not great with timing. They're going to have to establish better timing in the future. So a note to the executive team, and of course timing's very important also, is the testing for their battery and updates here on their solid state polymer battery. We do know this technology exists. The EV Grid tested it. They did an independent study. The CEO verified it. There's sources out there to say that this does exist. This is real, but it was only tested by itself. This was not in a vehicle when it was tested. So solely this battery was tested, but it was not tested under observed conditions in a vehicle to my knowledge. So they still have to do that. And in the meantime, right now, they are relying and they are planning vehicles with a lithium ion battery cell, and that has some risks. So just right now, when they deliver these vans, this is what they're going to be delivering it with. They're looking forward to the future in probably 2025, the way this timeline's looking right now, to come out with the Mullen 5, the RS, and potentially the GT. I believe that there's enough information out there that David could be driving around at a few cities in a GT version of the Mullen 5. So I think there's going to be 3 versions out there on this 2-month tour between October and November. Completely speculation, but based on what David has said in some of his interviews, and I believe that this GT is going to come back. I think it's going to surface, and this is a vehicle that I'll show at the end of the video. Really old version one of the original Mullens, and this is the vehicle right now that we're taking a look at for the second leg, potentially November. This might not show itself in October, but I believe that October, which is just a few weeks away, we're almost past this Fed meeting. I believe we're going to see a run up in this price once we start this event. Now, hopefully, that's coupled with some van news and a positive earnings. So we'll have to wait and see. But Mullen is definitely still got some volume. It really kicked back up, and we'll take a look at what its volume was. But in comparison with the other plays in the market, as far as sector and industry, auto manufacturing, everything was down last week. And I expect more volatility leading up to the Fed meeting. But you can see almost 8% reach that 50-cent mark. This could flirt with the 48, 46-cent mark, but I believe that we are definitely in a buy zone, and anything under 50 cents is going to be a buy and hold and wait for that next catalyst and then take profits. I mean, I'm not sure about Mullen being a long-term investment. There are so many things besides just having good technology that this company has to do, and timing is definitely going to be something that they're going to have to establish. Now, could someone buy them out? Is their vehicles, have they put enough thought and effort and energy into the Mullen 5 that somebody wants to buy this vehicle from them? There is that possibility, and that could be a huge catalyst. Could they establish partnerships? I really want to see them be able to execute, because they don't have a history of being able to execute. I want to see them execute with the van. They need to establish that, and then we could have some belief in a luxury car brand. I don't want to buy a luxury car from someone that can't even do a van. That's just the way I'm thinking. 123 million as far as volume. You can see it tried to drop off, which I thought was a little strange when it reached the 52-week low of 52 cents, and we had the lowest volume, and then it started to pick up at 53. I was like, what is happening? And then we got more at 50. I expect this volume to stay pretty consistent. As long as we get news of the vans, I think we establish some high volume, but it's going to have to stay high volume for this to be able to trade, for this to actually make some movements, especially as dilution starts to come in. So dilution is not going to be good for shareholders, and it's not going to be good for the share price. Now, I've got a lot of yellow lines in the chart here, but let me explain, because there's been lower lows, and this just keeps dropping. So this was the first one that we established right here at 53, and you can see 53.28, and then it tried to find support. It could not hold that, and it dropped lower right here at 52.08. Then it dropped even lower again, and this is all, remember, leading up to the Fed meeting, so this isn't a huge surprise. Then we went to 50.30, and then it tried to drop in the pre-market, where I think once we have the market open, this is going to drop and try and find support at 48, and that's what I said last week. And we could flirt with 46, but I believe under 50 cents in this range here, this is all a buy zone for those of you looking to hold Mullen long or for a good trade. I believe we're definitely oversold, and if we look into the daily chart, you can see this is definitely starting to pull down into the buy zone, buy territory. Now, if we go down here, I mean, you can see typically this isn't a buy until it reaches about the 23 down here, or 25. So we haven't gotten to the 25 on the RSI on the daily, but it could very quickly dip down into this oversold area on the daily chart, and that would definitely be a very strong indicator for a huge opportunity to definitely get in and hold this for a rebound to the upside. That's all I've got. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to stick around for that Microsoft video. If you haven't seen it, the GT video is coming right after this. That's all I got, and I'll see you in the next video.
Take all the time you want, folks. I'll take this one in red. Beautiful choice, sir. No, black. Black. That's actually my favorite color. Red. Definitely red.
When software lets you quickly give customers what they want, that's 1 degree of separation. That's business with .NET.